This is the Baseus Security B1 outdoor camera. It's a 2K camera. It has a 7.8 amp hour battery, and they claim a 210-day battery life. So you charge it, you stick it up, and then you just have to go back and charge it again when the battery runs out. It has 8 gigabytes of built-in storage, and it says no hidden fees. So I was sent this to review for free. If you wanted to purchase it, I've seen it for about $89 or $90 online. They haven't paid me for my review, and all of my opinions remain my own. So it has a sheath here, talks about 145-degree field of view. It says it's 2K, which is better than 1080p, so basically twice the resolution of 1080p. And it says it has colorful night vision, and it mentions a 100 lumen spotlight. So I'm not sure if it has a night vision chip or if it just is colorful because it lights it up with a spotlight. Now in the box, we have the camera itself. And it has on the back here a 1/4x20 socket, and it looks like a plug which has maybe a power reset button and a USB-C charging port. There's also a box of accessories. Nice thing about the camera is it's not quite round, so it will stop rolling. It has a flat base and the sides are a little bit flat as well. It says remove the film before first use for best image quality. Makes sense. And so it looks like it has an IR sensor, a camera, and I would guess these are the lights. There's also some hole there that might be an indicator LED. So in the accessory box, we have a very heavy feeling mounting bracket here. So I think this bracket probably has some metal involved. So there's the 1/4x20 stud that hooks into it. It has a plastic ring here, and then this part's plastic and the ring is plastic, but this bit here is metal and there's a metal ball in there. So this little bit here is plastic, but the stud and the ball and this thing here are all metal. And it looks like it will pull this in and make it so that when you tighten this up, this guy stops moving around. So you can loosen it, adjust it, point the camera where you want to point, and then tighten this up and it'll lock in place. Now at the other end of the box, they have a bag of screws with anchors. So there's 3 screws and 3 anchors. There's only 2 holes here, so they're giving you 1 extra screw. As well as a charging cable. And this is a USB-A to USB-C charging cable. And because this is not solar powered, I think it's important to charge it fully before you install it. Now, it seems like you could add a solar panel charger as long as it had a USB-C port. You might be able to convert this into a solar powered camera if you wanted to. But I think the idea of the battery camera is this is for mounting somewhere in the shade where you won't be able to get solar power to it. So it's supposed to have a long life, and you just charge it up, and then when you want to remove it, you just unscrew it, take it inside the house, charge it up, screw it back up, and you're ready to go again for another claimed 210 days. So they include a quick start guide wrapped in plastic. And there is a stencil. It's like a clear sticker with 2 holes in it, so you can put this up and know exactly where to drill pilot holes for the screws for this bracket. And they have instructions in lots of different languages. I'm only going to be looking at the English ones. So product specifications is 2304 by 1296 resolution. Color night vision. Input is 5 volts at 2 amps max. So it looks like it's not like power delivery, you're going to charge at super high wattages. It does 5 volts at 2 amps max, so it charges at 10 watts. Its waterproof rating is IP67, so it's designed for outdoor mounting. So it does have a speaker on the bottom, and it has a microphone which is on the front up here. Has the spotlight, the camera, the motion sensor, there's an indicator light, the base mounting hole, there's a sync button underneath here, and the USB-C charging port. So to set this up, we need to install the Baseus security app. And it looks like we just have to search for it on either the Apple Store or the Google Store. I don't see any QR codes to link you directly to that. And I'm sure they want you to charge this guy up before we use it. So I'm just going to go plug this guy in to charge it. So not including the mounting bracket, the camera weighs 12.6 ounces, or 358 grams. Alright, so this guy is charging at 5 volts. It's only drawing 1.7 amps, so a little bit less than the 2 amps that they claimed. That might be because it came mostly charged from the factory. While it's charging, this indicator light is flashing blue. I left this guy charging overnight, and the blue light has gone out. It's drawing 0 amps, so I assume it's fully charged now. Okay, I have installed the Baseus security app, and I've pushed the plus button to add a device, and I don't have a home station, but this is a camera, so I'm going to push camera, and there it is, the B1 outdoor camera, and so we can add it to my home. That seems reasonable. And we have to press the sync button for 5 seconds until you hear a beep, and the camera's LED will start flashing blue. Okay, sounds simple enough. So I'm going to push this for 5 seconds. Alright, it said welcome. The light is flashing red and I didn't hear a beep, so maybe that was just turning it on. I'm going to press the sync button for 5 seconds. Well, let me wait for this LED. Maybe I need to let that LED stop flashing red. So let me give it 20-30 seconds to boot up or do whatever it's doing. Okay, the red LED stopped flashing, so I'm going to push and hold the sync button for 5 seconds. Okay, now I have a blue flashing light and it did the boo-boo, which I'm assuming is their beep. So I'm going to push the next button. It's searching for the device. It found a device. I'm going to click that thing, and it wants me to select a network. Okay, I put in my network and password, and it says it's connecting to the Wi-Fi, and we have to keep the phone, router, and camera as close as possible. So I'm probably about 45 feet away from my router, so maybe not as close as possible. So now it's sitting here and it's flashing red. Alright, I got a voice prompt from the camera after about a minute that said the Wi-Fi connection is successful. And now it wants me to name the camera, and they have preset names. Okay, it says it was added successfully. I have a blue light. Alright, you can set it for optimal battery life. You can check this power saving enhancement, which increases the detection interval to reduce the rate at which the battery is drained. Or you can say, hey, do optimal surveillance, which will drain the battery faster, but will do longer clips and higher motion detection and things like that. So it says it has a 210-day battery life. I'm assuming that's with the optimal battery life settings. I'm going to change this to the optimal surveillance to do a worst case scenario here. Now it says, please fully charge the camera before use. Takes about 5 hours. I've already done that before I set it up, so I'm good with that. It says, put this camera 7 to 10 feet above the ground. Point it where you want it to go. It tells you how to install it with the bracket, how to screw the camera on. And right now my Wi-Fi signal is strong because I'm inside the house near the router. So I need to take this outside and test it outside, but there I am. And we hit finish. Now this is my second Baseus security camera, so I have 2 on my thing here. And when I went to go use it, it says, hey, we found a new firmware version for this camera, ignore or upgrade. And so the camera is working right now. It has video feed in the background. I'm going to hit the upgrade button. And so it has a page here, and it says, here's the current version, here's the new version. I'm going to hit upgrade now. And it is DSP, downloading firmware. and then it has two more steps, which is Wi-Fi and MCU. So I'm assuming it's going to take a while to do all of these things, and we'll let it do its thing. Alright, so it's changed from downloading firmware, now it says installing firmware. So I think it's making progress. We also have a solid blue light on this guy here. Now, while it was downloading firmware, if I move my hand in front of it, it would give me an alert message saying, hey, it detected motion, it detected a person, that type of thing. So it was still running while it was downloading the firmware, but I suspect while it's installing the firmware, it might have reset and be doing some work. Well, I did just get a message there. I'm getting some motion alerts. Alright, so the firmware upgrade failed. I moved it closer to my Wi-Fi adapter. It has network connectivity because I get messages every time I move near the camera. Let's retry this. Alright, current version, new version, upgrade now. And off it goes. It says it's downloading the firmware. So the downloading firmware stage went pretty quickly, and now we're at the installing firmware stage again. So it looks like the network, oh, there, upgrade complete. Okay, so it upgraded, completed on the DSP, and now it's upgrading the Wi-Fi module, I guess. And then after that, it's going to try the MCU, I guess. All right, Wi-Fi is complete. It downloaded MCU, and now it's installing the MCU firmware. Alright, looks like second try is the charm. Upgrade was successful. Okay, there I am. Okay, I've turned off the Wi-Fi router, and it has a flashing red light when it can't access Wi-Fi. Alright, I'm out by my dock where I want to install this guy. My Wi-Fi signal has gone down to medium, but I am getting some video from it. The streaming isn't super fast, so like right now it's 0 kilobytes a second. I'm going to try mounting it out here. We'll see how well it does this far away, because the Wi-Fi repeater is over there, near the door of my house. So it's a good 100 feet away from the Wi-Fi. Alright, so I just screwed that thing in the post, wasn't too difficult. 2 pilot holes would have made it easier, but I kind of have an old wooden post here, so I was able to just screw the screws in directly. Alright, so I have this guy up on the post, pointing out at my dock. Use the phone app to verify that it's pointing in the direction I wanted. There's a video history of me installing the camera here. Alright, I've gotten 2 motion alerts where it says it detected a moving object, but when I went and reviewed the footage, there was nothing there. So maybe a bird was flying in front of it, and then it didn't record before the bird, got out of the field of view. But I'm going to turn the sensitivity down from the default 3 down to 2 to see if I can get rid of some of those false alarms for, I don't know what they are exactly, but something's causing a false alarm. So I can also define an activity zone, so I might block out the sky part here of the view. The activity zones are only rectangular, so I'm going to add one here that leaves most of the sky out of the view. So it detects people when they walk by. I think some of the false positives I were getting were birds flying by really fast, because it takes a second or two after you kind of start walking through the field of view before it starts recording. And I don't know if that's because the motion sensor isn't super sensitive, or if it just takes a while after it detects motion to start recording. But you'll see several clips here where the action kind of starts with the person in the middle of the frame, even though they obviously walked from one side to the other. I've had this Baseus B1 outdoor battery camera installed and running for just a little over 3 weeks, and it's gone from 100 to 86%, so we'll say 15% battery usage. So assuming the battery usage is linear and continues in the same pattern, that would actually equate out to about 400 days, over a year of usage. Now, my camera doesn't get activated too frequently. It's in a low traffic area, so other than like a flock of birds flying by or people every so often, it's not getting activated, many times a day. It's getting activated maybe 1 or 2 times a day. So it does seem like it's going to have a pretty long battery life. All right, I've been pretty happy with this guy's performance. I am going to move it so, the post down by my dock gets plenty of sun, so that's a great place for a solar camera. I'm going to be using this guy under an eave north side of the house, where basically it won't be able to get solar charging. And so I think the battery capability on that is going to be useful for that.